Hey, it's Mike here, and today, Cheese Wars. The setting is a blind taste test for an industry cheese food award, and one cheese is getting rave reviews from the tasters. In fact, it is slated to win, as that company finds out in an email, yet as the awards approach, they are quietly removed from the list of finalists. And it turns out that was a vegan cheese, which did not make some people happy, but it wasn't the reason that it was removed, which we'll get into. So was it the influence of the dairy industry competitors that were clearly sweating through their brie-filled britches? Or was it some actual just legitimate reason that they were disqualified, as the Good Food Awards people say it was? Let's investigate in the name of cheeses. The Washington Post covered this in quite a lot of detail, and they talk about this Good Food Award being something that matters, though consumers don't know about it. Industry and retailers do, and that's important. And don't be fooled, plant-based cheeses were allowed to enter the competition, but you know, those plasticine pepper jacks of the past just were never real contenders. But times have changed and vegan cheeses have advanced. I should add another detail though, that while it was a blind taste test to the company and what, the cheese was exactly made out of, the testers were notified that it was a plant-based cheese. Despite that initial bias going into that, they thought it was freaking delicious. But this is a quote that was paraphrased by the same woman that snubbed the vegan cheese, so not a trustworthy source, as we will see. Did they actually know it was vegan? I don't know. All right, now let's get into what actually went down. Dr. Oliver Zahn, the CEO of Climax Foods, which is a food sex company. Oh, sorry, wrong company. Actually, the vegan cheese company. I couldn't resist. Said that the dairy industry tipped the award organization that one extremely healthy and safe ingredient consumed all over the world for centuries, Kokum butter, was not generally recognized as safe certified in the US. So 3 months after crowning us the winner and 2 weeks before the award ceremony, they've rushed to add this as a new requirement and conveniently ignored the fact that we have a new version of the same product where it is replaced with cocoa butter, which is GRAS. As a vegan, I also love to eat GRAS. Anyway, we have 3 months of being the winner before their crown was stolen from them. So to be clear, when they initially applied, generally recognized as safe, that GRAS requirement was not even on the application. They were not told that. They added that later. And what is Kokum butter anyway, for those that are curious? Well, it comes from the Kokum tree out of India. It's a replacement for cocoa butter. It has an even higher melting point. And this whole generally recognized as safe thing put me down a not super massive black hole, but a super massive rabbit hole, which I will try to nutshell for you guys really quickly, because I think there's important food industry lessons here. First of all, to Sarah Wiener, or Weiner, I'm just gonna say Wiener because it's funnier, of the Good Food Awards, is saying that on the original application, it specified that it needed to be market ready. And so they're saying not being GRAS, qualifies as not market ready, but I don't think that's true. From this government page of ingredients that you can use in your beverages, according to the FDA, quote, can the use of a substance be GRAS even if it is not listed by FDA? Yes, the use of a substance is GRAS because of widespread knowledge among the community of qualified experts, not because of a listing or other administrative activity. Yeah, due to the FDA's inability to certify every single ingredient themselves, they went ahead and were like, oh, corporations, you can take this into your own hands and do your own certification, and they don't even need to tell the FDA about it, which is wild. And while this can be used as a backdoor for toxic food companies, in the case of Kokum butter, it just likely means it's okay, just like vinegar or something like that. But to the Center for Science and the Public Interest, they actually go further with this flowchart, showing that yes, you can self-certify a new ingredient as GRAS without notifying the FDA, the secret pathway. And in terms of this actually being a safe product, according to experts, etc., from one of those companies' declaration of their product being GRAS, this is Coberine N707, a palm oil derivative, they state that, yeah, Kokum butter has been approved by the EU as a chocolate ingredient for over 20 years. Now, the EU has more stringent standards than the FDA, yet this is considered safe. So yeah, it's safe, it's just various fatty acids that are approved in other things as well. And it doesn't even matter anyway, because again, the product that was taste tested didn't even have it, but I learned a lot looking into that. And if you're somebody more familiar with this industry, comment down below if there were any nuances that I missed there. But we have to wonder, what was the reason? Who was the person that perhaps got this product taken out of the competition? No, it seems like somebody in the dairy industry, one of these dairy industry competitors, really didn't like the fact that a vegan product product was going to win here, and so they went searching from the ground up for something that they could disqualify them for. This is Dr. Zahn's theory, as reported by Vegconomics. He says it was, quote, in direct response to a dairy industry person that contacted them, being the awards company, this month to come up with a way to disqualify us. And yes, from the Washington Post, someone other entrant perhaps, or someone else in the community can alert the foundation that a contestant might not meet the requirements they attested to. So I think it's very unlikely that this is somebody that just cared a lot about the rules and they were like just checking all of the ingredients everywhere to make sure that they were safe for everybody to eat. Not that they cared at all about it being a vegan product. You know, just like how people are very likely not being kicked out for making cheese from bovine growth hormone containing cow's milk, even though that isn't like separately generally recognized as safe on its own, because it's just still milk. And while we don't have all the behind the scenes information, it does appear that we can sort of trace a little bit of what happened here back to the Washington Post. Yeah, it appears that traditional cheesemakers were shocked by how well it was doing as word spread about the interloper, mostly through food writer Janet Fletcher's Planet Cheese newsletter. The controversy fomented. And then we actually have some words from the dairy competitors here, the cow's milk cheese competitors, ones that previously won, for example, going out and saying that this is actually fraudulent cheese, it's fraud, and it looks like cheese, it might taste like a cheese, but it's not. It's not connected to our historical understanding of what cheeses are. Is peanut butter butter? He proceeded to run down the aisle of the grocery store and just knock all of the peanut butter containers off the shelf because they aren't real butter. But he did admit that it was tasting like cheese, so that's a win there, accidentally. And then we also have another one from the Washington Post again saying that these are engineered products and they're part of a financialized food system that's fueled by venture capital and disconnected from nature. Have you ever been to these modern dairy farms where they're hooked up to what looks like the inside of a UFO? But that's what it comes down to. We have this issue where vegan cheese can be a major threat to the industry if all of a sudden you can't claim this taste superiority that everybody believes is there. And that brings me to another quote from the Washington Post, calling this a bellwether moment, an inflection point in the evolution of vegan cheese from rubbery textured punchline to a product worthy of sitting alongside some of the country's top cheddars. And I would also add that in this case, despite being called like venture capital, techno, whatever, the vegan cheese people are the little guy here. The mega corporations and the establishment is the cow cheese people. And they're the ones who are like, oh, you know, we have the power to just not let you win. Because that's really what just did happen. I mean, looking to Miss Wiener or whatever her name is, she could have just been like, hey, well, we didn't say it in the application, so just next year, everything is going to be generally recognized as safe, but these guys still win. Nope. But this is where I think this actually has a silver lining, and that is that if they had won, you know, we might have heard a little bit about it. It might have been like a plant-based news article and some people would have seen it. But in this case, by doing the wrong thing and trying to snuff out their plant-based enemies, they have launched this into, you know, a Washington Post article. Now I'm doing a video on it, which I probably wouldn't have. But now they're probably gonna make a new category because they need to keep these plant-based people from competing in that lactation league over there. It just wouldn't be fair. And I do find it kind of sketchy that they were accepting plant-based cheese applications for years and just thinking like, oh, they're never gonna win. Like, I don't know how much it costs to apply for this. Probably something, which is a little bit sketchy. A quick Google search says $105. I don't know. The point is, I think this is actually a win in the end because not only is it showing that the vegan product won, but it's showing that there is some sketchy resistance to it and getting it more attention. Anyway, I also want to say that I will be at the UK Vegan Campout this summer. So if you're there, say hi. If you're not gonna be there, buy a ticket and go anyway. And of course, let me know down below what you think about all of this ridiculous shenanigans, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.